Earlier this week, eager Star Wars fans were finally treated to an awesome new trailer for The Last Jedi. Not only did it show us some hardcore Porg action, it also gave us a longer look at Luke Skywalker, who, after appearing for a total of 32 seconds in the last film, will have a much more prominent role in Episode 8.
I've seen this raw strength only once before. It didn't scare me enough then. Does now.
That's fantastic news, Ian, but what does this all have to do with video games? I can almost hear you shouting. Well, friends, most of you will know that Mark Hamill, the actor who plays Luke Skywalker, is no stranger to voice acting. One of his most famous roles is, of course, playing Batman's arch-nemesis, the Joker in the Batman animated series and films. It's also a part that he's played in 10 separate video games, from 1994's The Adventures of Batman and Robin on the Super Nintendo to last year's Batman Arkham VR.
Oh, the dynamic duo, together at last.
Holy immersion, Batman! Oh, and who could forget his other famous video game stint, playing space-age smoocher Colonel Christopher Blair in the Wing Commander series.
There's a lot more thrust in those jets than I imagined.
Oh, steamy. Those two may be his most well-known video game voice acting roles, but what you might not know is that The Last Jedi's voice has actually been credited in over 35 different titles, some of which he really had no business being in at all.
Matthias used a valid strategy. It defeated you, didn't it? I suppose.
If you're on the hunt for terrible games based off of slightly less terrible movies, The Scorpion King, Rise of the Acadian for the PS2 and GameCube should be right up your sarcophagus. This 2002 release features Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, reprising his starring role from the Scorpion King movie by providing his voice for the player character Matthias.
All right. You've made your point.
The plot for the game itself is pretty off the wall, seeing Matthias travel to the Netherworld to fight a Sphinx, some angry Egyptian furries, and, most confusingly of all, a Minotaur, which I can only presume is actually supposed to be the bull-headed god Apis, but yeah, good work in getting your mythological names wrong there, video game. Anyway, in a game this bonkers, it kind of makes sense for Hamill to appear as Apep, the Egyptian god of chaos. He's the deity who The Rock needs to get past in order to find the way back to the land of the living.
Then get out of my way and I shall leave here.
Not so fast, human. I am Apep, the snake god, guardian of the gates to the land of the living. No mortal that steps in the netherworld is permitted to return to the lands above. If you insist on attempting escape, I have no choice but to force you to stay.
Hamill's role as Apep is pretty small. He's only in the game for this one short battle, but he makes the most of his time by going full serpent with his voice acting.
Damn you, human! If you ever return here, I'll have your soul!
If I ever return here, I'll have your apology.
Holy crap, what a comeback from The Rock there. 2002 Soldier of Fortune 2 Double Helix was a lackluster shooter that, on launch, was plagued with game-breaking bugs and disastrous design choices. Because of these issues, Soldier of Fortune 2 should really have passed under most people's radar, but the title had one big bloody trick up its sleeve that turned it from a flop into a huge success. That trick was called the Ghoul Engine 2.0, which gave the game's character models 36 different gore zones, allowing the game to feature ultra-realistic and incredibly graphic dismemberment of the human body. Oh God, I can see his actual brains. Oh, excuse me while I go and vomit.
Good to meet you, John. If heard a lot about you. I'm Assistant Director Aaron Wilson, and this is the shop's director, Anthony Michaels.
Anyway, during one of the many cutscenes for this game's overly long story, we're introduced to Aaron Wilson, one of the founders of The Shop, a clandestine anti-terrorist organisation.
Now that we're all acquainted, are you aware of the upcoming World Trade meeting in Switzerland, John?
What are the specifics of the operation?
Sorry, John. You're on a need-to-know basis. We want you to fly down there and check it out. Upon successful insertion, our agents will brief you in the field.
As is often the case with these types of games, Wilson turns out to be a very bad man indeed, intent on infecting world leaders with something called the Romulus virus so he can blackmail them all for an antidote. What a massive arsehole.
Why did you do it, Wilson?
For the money, of course. Hey, what can I say? Peace is bad for business. When the Cold War ended, I could no longer play both sides of the political arena. It put a serious damper on my operations, and, well, I couldn't allow that to happen. Now could I?
How many did you come with?
The Call of Duty series is famous for employing the services of A-list celebrities to fill its leading roles. In the past, we've seen actors like Kit Harington and Kevin Spacey play villains. We've had Katie Sackhoff and Jason Statham taking turns as heroes. And hell, even Jeff Goldblum was in Black Ops 3 Zombies mode playing an evil magician.
No, I just want to make sure that our fares are in order.
Chances are, though, you may not have spotted Mark Hamill making an appearance in 2005's Call of Duty 2 spin-off, Big Red 1. This is because Hamill doesn't play an actual character in Big Red 1. Instead, he puts on his hammiest 1940s radio voice to narrate the military channel cutscenes that bookend each chapter of the game.
Unmatched heroism of the 1st Infantry Division, Allied forces were able to overpower Axis troops at Jela and Troina. Even the tanks of the mighty Hermann Goering Division were no match for one of the most accomplished American fighting units of World War II.
Hamill also starred in a motion picture named Big Red 1, an epic World War II film released in 1980, in which he played the part of reluctant soldier Private Griff. Maybe this link was the reason why he was offered the wacky role in Treyarch's game to begin with, but it does seem odd that he was given the part of the documentary narrator rather than being allowed to lend his voice to a fully fledged character.
The definitive turning point in the war is at hand, and Hitler's fortress Europa will soon taste the full fury of the battle-hardened troops of the Big Red One.
Time. Within its swirling mists lies the knowledge of all things.
While we're on the subject of famous voices doing big roles in video games, who could forget Hamill's much-loved turn as male protagonist voice 3 in Heart of Winter, the expansion pack to the RPG Icewind Dale from Black Isle Studios. The 2001 expansion pack added many new things to the game, including a much higher experience point cap, new magical items and spells, and, most notably, 6 brand new sound sets to choose from when designing your avatar during character creation. Out of these 6 sound sets, 3 of which were female, only How_male_3 contains the voice of Hamill himself, who's gone full-on, gravelly, sarcastic tough guy.
I'm glad I was born into this beautiful world so I could stand around and be bored.
Mate, come on, we're not all Jedi. Some of us need to take a break once in a while.
You'll soon sleep with the dead.
Look, Mark, there really is no need for that kind of aggression.
Enough already. Half the loot is mine.
Huh. I guess you've never seen me play PUBG before. You're in for a shock.
Oh, great. To think I could be sailing in the Black Isles instead of here.
Alrighty, I've saved the best, or at least most bonkers game for last. This here is Bouncers for the Sega CD, which released in 1994. It's kind of like a basketball game crossed with a fighting game where, in order to score points and win the game, players must dunk themselves in the opposition's baskets by bouncing off the top of their opponent's heads. In Bouncers, Mark Hamill provides his vocal talent for not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 sentient balls. Whilst there's not much speech in the main game, there's plenty of it in the intro cutscenes for each character, which take the form of crudely animated CGI shorts. In these shorts, Hamill plays a cranky old man ball who's upset by the wails of Spike's electric guitar.
Hey! Knock off that!
He also voices Chip, a schoolboy on a fishing trip.
Goody! I got a bite! I got a bite!
Then there's Dash, an heroic superhero ball.
Ta-da! I have arrived in the nick of time. 2 cunning and deadly archfoes, and only I stand between them and their diabolical plot.
And finally, there's Ugg, a ball made out of stone that only communicates in grunts and snorts. I mean, seriously, once you've heard Luke Skywalker pretending to be an out-of-breath Stone Age basketball, you've really heard it all. Here's a bit more Dash.
Thanks to me, the poor widow who owns this bank will not be left penniless and destitute. Nothing can stand in my way.
Or you won't hear the bang.
Oops. I, mighty superhero, having rescued the safe from the clutches of evil, prepare for the onrush of thanks I am sure to receive. The cheer, the celebration, the admiration.
So there you go, those were 5 games Mark Hamill had no business being in at all. Do you agree? Do you have a favourite video game character that Mark Hamill has voiced? Let us know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, do give it a like, do subscribe to Eurogamer for daily videos about video games, and most importantly, may the Force be with you. Goodbye.
Company.
Break and attack.
Here we go.